Hello everyone, welcome. It is time for more battling. It's time for another episode of
Battle Bibles.
Bible battles.
Yes, somebody got it right. We'll see if any correct answers are given this week. Hello, we hope that you're doing well. And I can see you where we're voting.
I forgot about that.
And we're doing good. We've recovered from last week's debacle and
Have we really though? I'm pretty sure your wounds are still fresh.
They are. The wound was deep. And we did get some comments on last week's video.
And
I still have
obviously
not
they were
changed.
wrong as well.
Some complaints about what was picked.
There were suspicions of somebody getting fired. We're not allowed to
Yes.
say who, but
That's true. I did go and after it was done, I talked to Johanna, our daughter, and she got every battle correct. And so I thought about just firing these two, getting rid of them, and then starting all the way over. But since we're almost through the first round, I thought we better keep going. So here we are. We'll see if we can do any better this time. What we're doing is we're talking about our favorite books of the Bible, and they're going head-to-head in the tournament. We're making our way through the first and second round, and we've had some fun discussions along the way. Mistakes have been made, and we are continuing on, though. And so we have some great books to talk about today. We hope that you will talk about these books, read them through, rediscover them maybe, and figure out what God is speaking to you in these ancient books. So, are you guys ready?
I am. It doesn't look like Ethan's ready. It looks like Ethan's ready to go to sleep.
He's pretty relaxed.
I mean, I am.
Well, it is afternoon, and that's the time that most teenagers are taking naps, but he is at least conscious right now. So, here we go. We're going to talk about two books from the Old Testament. We have Ezekiel, that is going up against amazing book, but Ezekiel, first off, is a wonderful book of prophecy, strange book. There are lots of weird visions that happen in Ezekiel, but it's a great book talking about judgment and about hope for Israel, and it's going up against Song of Solomon, or the Song of Songs, which is perhaps the most unique book in all of the Bible, as it's a bunch of romantic Jewish literature poems, and all about love and physical love, and has caused a lot of issues for commentators through the years trying to figure out what is it really saying and why is it in the Bible. So we're going to talk about these books right now and choose our favorites between them. So who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
You've been itching to talk about
Oh, yeah, I've been
Song of Solomon
all week long.
So, when I first saw this matchup coming up, I'm like, these books have nothing in common. I was wrong. They are like, I mean, they're different obviously, but they're like really image related, like with the different prophetic visions or whatever about different angels, like one with like a spinning wheel with eyes and stuff.
Ezekiel has some strange visions when he first sees God, yes, and he's seen God leave the temple and go to Babylon, which is eye-opening experience. And then there's strange things going on in Song of Solomon where they're describing each other,
Yep.
and their love for each other, and how they look.
I don't think those pickup lines would work today. But
You should try them.
I think it would be kind of
Write
funny.
it out as a text, because that's what we do now. Write that text and send it to your girlfriend and see if she's like, oh, if it melts her heart.
I don't think it will.
See if you still have a girlfriend when it's over.
I may not. But yeah, like Ezekiel really shows you like most angels aren't this white glowing halo wearing winged creature. There's a lot of them. There's quite a few types, I think. Not one is just completely unique. I like that picture of Ezekiel though.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to be sticking with.
You're picking Ezekiel
Yep.
then. Okay. Well, Ezekiel is an amazing book. That's where we have the vision of the dry bones, as God is revealing to the prophet just the spiritual deadness of his people and how they're just bones, and then God recreates them spiritually. And of course, Ezekiel is all about the judgment coming upon Israel and the nations, and then how there's still hope in the midst of God's judgment. We hear that in the prophets all along, that God has hope for Israel to restore them, to bring them back from Babylon. And fascinating in Ezekiel is you have the last 2 chapters, you have a temple described that's never built. It's never rebuilt in the Bible or to our time now. Some think maybe it'll be rebuilt at the very end of time. Hard to say, but it's really about the restoration of God's entire perfect world is the end of Ezekiel. So, fascinating book. And then Song of Solomon, which is so unique, and it's a book that I've steered clear of a lot.
You don't really have very many scripture readings of Song of
Not
Solomon.
much. I have not preached much from the Song of Solomon, but I am planning on doing that. Here in a few weeks, I'm gonna do that. And as I've been spending time in it and studying it, it's just a fascinating story about love and about physical love, and these 2 lovers who are searching for each other, and then they find each other, and then their passion grows, and then they're separated again, and then they search again and find each other, and it's just tension is building, and it shows just the fiery passion of love, which you would think, why is this in the Bible? And yet God's love for us is fiery. It's passionate, and fire can burn if used incorrectly, but it can also do many wonderful things too. And so I'm going to actually pick, and I was kind of surprised by this, but I'm going to pick Song of Solomon. I think it's so unique, and it's got something amazing to say to us about God, His love for us, and about the fact that physical love is okay in God's eyes. It's not a bad thing. It's not an evil thing. It's part of God's plan. So we got a 1-and-1 here, Ezekiel and Song of Solomon, and we turn to you, Jeanette.
Well, I have nothing to say because you said it all.
I said it all. Sorry.
Is that it all?
I was going to
Rewind.
sing Dry Bones.
Dry bone. Well, go ahead. I didn't sing it. I just mentioned it.
I really like that story in Ezekiel also.
I kind of forgot about that part.
Yeah, about, its imagery also pertaining to the end, when we're in spiritual deadness, and and Christ comes and gives us a new heart when we're committed to Him, and then and then at the end as well, I picture Him bringing us up and giving us new bodies.
Yeah.
So that I really like about Ezekiel. But I actually read Song of Solomon in the Clear Word for early or for young kids.
For young kids, yeah.
And I really liked it. It was very romantic, the way that it read in the Clear Word, and it wasn't probably quite so graphic, but there was stuff in there that I was like, if
Made
you
you
didn't
blush?
know, if you didn't know, I'd be blushing in front of my children. But so I'm also going to pick Song of Solomon, only because of the uniqueness, and it is a love story, or a
Love poem.
a love poem about a couple, and it's very romantic. It's very exciting, and it shows us that it is okay to do that. But one of the things that I did catch is when the bride would be talking to her friends, she'd always end by, pray for me to keep myself from him before I'm his. And so that was nice to read in that as well, that it's okay to have those feelings, and it's okay to be passionate, but there is a stopping point until you're married.
All things in due time.
Yes.
Yes.
This is what your mom's saying.
Why do you look at me when you
I
say
don't know.
that?
I've been looking over here for a while. I thought I would look over here now.
Oh, the dog's down there.
So, all right. So we've got our first battle in, and Ezekiel. I'm glad that it got at least one vote because it's a great book. But Song of Solomon goes into the next round. Now, our final battle of round 1, we have Jeremiah, another Old Testament book that's kind of a cousin to Ezekiel, written around the same time by a contemporary. Jeremiah going up against the book of Romans. So we have a New Testament book coming up here. Fascinating, amazing book written by Paul in the New Testament. One of his longest books and best examples of trying to explain what the gospel is and how salvation takes place. So here we have Jeremiah up against Romans. What do we think? Do you want to go first this time, or do you want someone else to?
I can go first. I know where I'm going. So I am actually going to pick Romans.
That was quick.
It is. There you have it. That's it. No.
Done.
Just Romans.
I really enjoy Romans. I like to read through it. It gives a lot of direction and hope, and it tells us, that we don't just continue to do things wrong just to show that God has grace. And, I think that's important for us to remember. We are forgiven because God is merciful and grace-filled, but that doesn't give us a license to just go sinning.
Right.
It also has one of the first, a lot of people remember reading John 3:16 or learning that as their first Bible verse they learned, and mine was actually Romans.
Okay.
And for the
Romans
wages,
3:16.
yeah, for the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. And so I have a little emotional connection to it too.
Okay, great. Wonderful book there. I love both these books too. Jeremiah is an excellent book. It's a tough book because Jeremiah has to share with Israel that problems are coming, that captivity is going to happen, and he's decrying what they've done as they've turned to idols and different things. And so Jeremiah is trying to change them, trying to bring them back from that, but it doesn't work. And they don't listen, and so to captivity they go. Jeremiah he's got a rough go of it, but some wonderful verses there talking about how God had called him before he was even born, when he was in the womb. That's an amazing verse. And Jeremiah also talks about that new heart, new spirit that God is going to give in the future. So excellent book, but I'm going to pick Romans as well because it is what Jeremiah predicted is now being seen and fulfilled and explained in the book of Romans. Great book where Paul is trying to get two groups of Christians to get along. That's kind of needed, huh? He's got Gentile Christians in Rome and Jewish Christians who were kicked out of Rome by the emperor for a while, and now they're allowed to come back. And so they come back and they're like, wait, they're quite a bit different in their beliefs.
And it's like, how do they work together?
Yeah, how do they work together? And they need to. And so Paul is describing for them, first off, the wonderful verse is that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. All have sinned. That's important to remember, especially these days. Everybody has sinned. No matter what affiliation you take, we all need God. We all need God's grace.
You didn't look at me that time.
I didn't.
He looked at me.
I didn't notice that.
So we all need God's grace, and that's what Paul is talking about. Wonderful verses about baptism in there as well, and being dead to sin, risen to life with God. So I'm going to pick Romans. I think it's an excellent book, and I hope it goes to the second round, but who knows? He does.
It goes to the second round.
It does? Are you picking?
It's 2-1.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So it's already in, but mine's just like a courtesy.
It still matters. What are you going to give us your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Romans 2.
Okay.
I think an alternate title for Romans probably could be Gentiles.
Yeah.
It really doesn't have much of like the Romans that I've noticed. I think it's more of like how are Jewish people gonna how are Gentiles gonna be brought in? Because obviously Jesus taught the disciples that, and he tried to be teaching everybody else. But now it's kind of like the disciples' job to be like, oh, we can't just stick in our bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like an expanding.
Very good. That's true. And how important that we learn to get together and work together, even if we have differences of opinions. So, Romans making it through 3-0 into the second round, and boom, here we are in the second round.
Whoop, whoop.
Are we ready?
Time to end the second round.
And we're going right into the second round, and this is the last battle of the second round. And now after that, we're going to be going into the Sweet 16, if I remember right. Yeah. So we're moving quick right now, and we have got our winners from the first round: Song of Solomon, wonderful love poetry from Hebrew love poetry, going up against the Book of Romans. Excellent theological book, and I've made you guys go first. You want me to go first this time?
Yes, please.
I think I'm going to go with Romans. I really like Song of Solomon, and I'm glad it made it to the second round, but Romans is just a fascinating book that explains so much of theology, and that everybody needs God's grace, and that we all need to work together, and that when we have differences with someone else, we need to have grace with each other. And boy, that is really needed these days.
Why'd you look at me again?
I didn't. I'm not staring straight ahead the whole time.
We really need grace today.
Yeah,
Oh, I
great.
looked at this way. I
Grace.
didn't turn and look straight at you as I said it.
I did.
Yeah, she's maybe doing that, but no, we all need grace, including me. So if there was a mirror, I'd be looking at it right now.
Have a mirror in here, please.
So I'm picking Romans. Let's have you go next.
Romans.
Romans again.
Yeah. Same.
Probably makes sense since you voted for Ezekiel
Yeah.
instead of Song of Solomon.
My
So,
vote was kind of. You probably should have known it was coming.
all right, so 2 for Romans. Jeanette.
You know, it's a tough one
Mm-hmm.
because we voted for Song of Solomon in the last round because it was so different and so unique. But then if we continue to use that as our compass, it'll end up in
It'll
it'll
win
be
the whole
ended.
thing.
It would. It
It's
would.
just so unique. Let's give it the
Yeah.
victor.
So let's just throw it out.
Oh
And
no, here we go again.
My goodness.
as
Well, you
much
see,
as I
Genesis
really
is the
enjoy
first book of the Bible, so let's throw it out. And
and
Exodus is the
Revelation,
second.
yes,
And so we're good.
yes.
Oh, help us.
So being that my head that you can't just pick it because it's unique. It is a romantic book. I think a lot of women probably like reading. I guess I'm stereotyping myself.
Men don't like
No.
romance at all.
Nope.
Wait,
You probably more
hold
than
up
I
just a
do.
second. Between the two of us, who's the more romantic? Enough said. Go ahead. What's your vote?
I'm voting for Romans.
Going for Romans. It makes sense because you're not that romantic.
I am not. You're right.
So, okay, so we've made it through round number 1. We've made it through round number 2. Thank you for coming along this journey with us. Round number 3, what's next? We've got some excellent books that have made it through 2 rounds, so it only gets harder from here.
Like just looking at like the entire setup for the next round, I just don't want to do it.
It's painful.
Throw it
It's
out.
going to be painful. Jeanette just wants to end it all right here.
This is the final episode of.
I love all of them. They're all winners. You would
That's
give
right.
Everybody
partic-
gets a participation
trophy
Yes,
for everybody.
yes.
So next time when you join us again, we're going to have Acts of the Apostles going up against 1 Corinthians, 2 books from the New Testament, and 2 more books from the New Testament. No, one from the New and one from the Old. The book of James from the New Testament going up against a wonderful story of Ruth from the Old Testament. So let's see how they do next time. Go ahead and make some comments if you'd like. Let us know if we got things right or if we got things wrong. Like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends. But most importantly, read through the books of the Bible and find which ones you like the best. And more than that, find your Savior in the midst of it. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you'll join us next time. Until then, take care and God bless.